Welcome back. Political panel time. Let me introduce them to you. Erin Maguire and CBS News contributor Chuck Rocha here with me at the desk. Erin, Republican strategist. Chuck, Democratic strategist, former advisor to Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign, and excellent cowboy hat wearer. Okay, the original plan for this conversation was to start with an interview I was to do today for this program with Jasmine Crockett, who just announced her candidacy for the Democratic nomination for Senate in Texas. We had that booked. We had it promoted. We had it promised. And Congresswoman Crockett backed out about an hour before we were supposed to do that. She is invited back on the program, but I want to note, and she knows I'm going to do this, that we had it booked, she was scheduled, and she backed out. So evaluate, because I know you know a lot about Texas politics, Chuck, Jasmine Crockett's entrance into this race and whether you think it's a good idea or not.
Well, it's definitely shaken up the race. Colin Allred, who ran last time, who raised $30 million. He raised a lot of money.
Set it all on fire.
That's right. And lost. Was coming back to run again. But if you've already raised $30 million, Erin knows this. She runs lots of campaigns.
That's right. It's still doing it.
That's $30 million of name ID that is free. Like now you build off of that. And just because she got in the race, now he's decided not to run, and he's going to go back and run for Congress.
Right, he was on the program earlier this week explaining that.
All of that is just a big shakeup.
So James Tallarico's still in the race, not as well known, but pretty well liked.
And has raised an unbelievable amount of money again.
Right.
And let me tell folks about what the Democratic primary makeup looks like in the state. You have to win a primary before you win a general election. And in the primary, almost 50% of the electorate is made up of white folks. 21% is made up of African Americans, and 30% is made up of Latinos, and about 2% Asian. That's the last off your election. So it gives you an idea of where they would try to draw from to actually win a primary.
Right. Erin, lots of Republicans could not be happier that Jasmine Crockett entered this race.
Right. I think it takes away any of the electability argument in the Republican primary, right? I think that there are plenty of people who have been out there talking about who is in the race. But for Jasmine Crockett to enter in, one thing about her and Tallarico is they almost parallel raise money. They both brought in $6 million recently in the last quarter. He is actually a very formidable fundraiser for just being a state rep or state senator, whatever.
State rep, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's very formidable money versus a federally elected official. But it seems that sometimes national Democrats, including Jasmine Crockett, confuse progressive enthusiasm and online noise for electoral strength. And there continues to be this big blue dream of Texas, this fever dream that Democrats have. You can go back to Beto, who lit loads of millions of dollars
came close in
on
2018.
but lost. You can go back to the woman in the sneakers from Texas who also lost. You can go back to Colin Allred. Democrats will do what they always do. They will pour millions and millions and millions of dollars into a state that they will not be able to change the electorate in this cycle to be able to win. Jasmine Crockett's first message coming out in one of the first interviews she did was, we don't need to win Trump voters. Donald Trump won Texas with 56% of the vote. If she believes that she is going to only win on how Kamala Harris did, congratulations, you are proving my point about just lighting millions of dollars on fire. And if I was a low-dollar Democrat donor, which is the base of Democrat dollars, they are very good at the low dollar, $5 every month, keeping it up, I would be furious to yet again see somebody hard charge a primary only to waste money and diminish the opportunity for somebody else that might be able to build a coalition because the self-importance is why they're running.
Chuck, I'm going to take this from Texas nationally. The assumption has to be for Jasmine Crockett that 2018 for Beto O'Rourke was a good wave year for Democrats. First midterm after Trump won in 2016. This will be better. Therefore, the wave will be higher, which gives her a probability that didn't exist for Beto.
There's some positive energy out there for sure. And it's not polls. It's not pontification. It's actually people voting. In Miami, just a week ago, there was this big race. And
Mayor-elect Higgins was on this program last night.
She won.
First in 30 years.
30 years. And in New Jersey and Virginia, there's definitely been an overperformance. No matter what, you can say that not the same people vote. I get all that. I've been running campaigns a long time. But there's definitely momentum there.
Something in the air.
Or we would be losing. I would tell you that Virginia is not a blue state. They have a Republican governor for all of you at home.
Chuck, you and I both know that historically speaking, Virginia is much more purple-blue than it is red.
They have a Republican governor.
There's something in the air.
There is a midterm coming up, and we are looking at a unified Republican White House, Senate, and House. And right now, what are you hearing nationally in the argument about Obamacare subsidies? Why? Because that was a Democrat proposal. Obamacare, but Republicans will carry the mantle on the cost for a Democrat-named and Democrat-led piece of legislation that Republicans have tried to overturn for decades.
So they're going to lean into that. They're going to be okay with the expiring of these subsidies.
They're not, and they shouldn't be.
Okay.
Because you know what? Not allowing an off-ramp for the failure of Democrats is a failure of Republican leadership.
Republicans have weakened this bill from the moment that it got passed. They've taken all the subsidies away from it, all the money that was going into it, and they've taken it out.
Insurance companies. Why would you continue to make the insurance companies rich? That doesn't help people.
One after another. Now they want to retreat back to something they don't know nothing about.
It seems like we have a better understanding of it when it comes to actual affordability conversation.
That's why you're getting your butt whooped in elections. I know it hurts, but I was the first one to tell you that Trump
won. You and I both know that we get along so well, but it is disingenuous to say that the Obamacare conversation is what's going on in any of the elections we've seen right now.
Aaron gets the last word.
Oh, yeah, I know that
gets the last word.
I get paid around here. I get to do it last.
Maguire, Chuck Rocha.
buddy.
I get paid more, Chuck. I decide.